and now we're here with 3 of the singing students at the Vienna Opera Academy, and we're going to talk with them now. Welcome. And I'd like each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us where you're coming from, first of all. Okay?
Hi, my name is Chris Mosz, and I'm a tenor from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in America. Long way from home.
Hi, I'm Emily Hogarty. I am from Dublin, Ireland, and I am a mezzo-soprano.
Hi, my name is Kaia Rullestad Teigen. I'm a soprano from Oslo, Norway.
Well, we have quite an international group here, I see. This is great. And perhaps what each of you can do is tell us about your background and how you've been training and singing over the years, and what you would like to achieve here at the Vienna Opera Academy this summer. I know there are many questions we could go into, but first just tell us about your background and how you came here. So, Chris.
Thank you. I've actually been singing since I was really young. I joined a boy choir when I was only 9 years old, and then 2 years later, the local opera company came and asked if any boys wanted to sing in a production of Pagliacci, and I shot my hand up with a few friends, and I never stopped singing since. So it's been about 18 years in opera, and I just love it with my whole heart.
I came to opera a lot later. I grew up singing, but musical theatre was always kind of my thing when I was younger. And then for college in Ireland, there's a degree which is music education, and you can only study through traditional Irish or classical, and I kind of was forced into it that way. And then even it wasn't until halfway through my degree that I moved to the teacher I'm with now that I kind of decided actually opera is more for me, and fell in love with it a lot later, early 20s, which I still am in, really young.
Well, I'm actually a mix of the two, I would say, the two here. I grew up with singers as parents, so I got my start very early on, but I didn't want to venture into opera because that's what my parents did. So I wanted to go into musical theater, which I did for a while. I got my degree in musical theater, and then I wanted to focus more on singing, and one thing led to another, and then I got into the Opera Academy in Oslo, and here we are.
What, if you can tell us, so what is your vocal type, and do you so far, if it's not too new, do you have a favorite role in a favorite opera, or is this still something you're discovering right now?
Well, I do have a favorite role at this time. So at this point, I would say my biggest dream is probably to sing Mimi in La Bohème, which is not very original, but there you go. That's one of my favorite operas. My favorite is probably Madama Butterfly. So I'm a big Puccini girl. I'm a soprano, lyric, dramatic, probably. Maybe will be dramatic at some point, but I'm still 29, so I'm kind of holding off on it.
Very good. Okay. How about with the two of you, so Emily and Chris? I mean, do you have favorite roles so far, or favorite operas so far, that you dream of performing in one day?
My favorite opera doesn't actually line up with the role I want. My favorite opera is Tosca, but I am a mezzo-soprano, so I will not be performing Tosca anytime soon. I think a dream role for me, there's kind of two. I'd love to venture into the Rossini repertoire and maybe do Barbarina and Cenerentola down the road, but I think I'm a big fan of Massenet's Werther and Charlotte as well. She's kind of similarly to Tosca, she's got like a lot of depth to her. She's very three-dimensional. She's got lots of layers to her, lots of responsibilities, being, you know, an eldest child and with all the responsibilities of her siblings. And I just think she's got a lot to her than that a lot of mezzo-soprano roles in other operas don't necessarily get to show. So I think maybe Charlotte.
Yeah, I'd just love to perform any bel canto that I possibly could. I was lucky to actually perform one of my dream roles this year of Ernesto in Don Pasquale. It's just a role that I think fits my voice better than any role I've done before. But any other Donizetti, I'd love to do La Fille du Régiment. I'd love to do, you know, really, truly any of them. But I've been lucky to actually have quite a few opportunities. So, yeah, hopefully I get more.
Thank you. Now, all of you are in Così fan tutte, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell us, how are you finding the program so far, and your rehearsals, your training, and now right before the general rehearsal, how are you feeling about your roles now?
Well, I'm singing Fiordiligi, and it's a big sing for sure. It's a lot of it's a lot to sing. So that's kind of my one. Not get too tired. Well, but I feel like we've kind of progressed. Found a natural progression into it. Got to work on the stamina and everything. We've been training for 6 hours a day. So it's a lot, but also that will help the whole stamina thing.
Absolutely.
So I feel that's my kind of one big, my one big goal and my one big challenge with this part is just keep the stamina.
Very good. Interesting, actually. Emily?
Yeah, I'm singing the part of Dorabella, the younger sister to Fiordiligi. Sorry. Yeah, I think just to echo what Kaia said, the stamina of singing all day, every day, and that sort of preparation for when you go into professional rehearsals is a great tool to have. And being in Vienna and the people, and kind of also like, because there's many people cast in the same roles, the sort of experimenting with blend and stuff was a new experience for me, and seeing, you know, whose voice works with what and when to pull back, when to sing out. All of those tools were things in the rehearsal that I hadn't come across before, that were new experiences to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a great time. Being in Vienna is incredible. And I think getting to work with people like Toby and the coaches that they've brought in, it's really valuable to get the insight that these people bring to this program. This is the third time I've actually done Così. I did it once in English and then once in Italian before, but it's been 9 years since then. So I'm having to shake off some habits that I picked up when I was a younger tenor. But Ferrando it's an interesting role because, you know, I kind of have to play a guy who would these days be sort of misogynistic in a way. But you have to find the humor in somebody who thinks that way. And you have to find ways to balance the libretto and things that are happening today, and make it something that people can enjoy and people can see and point and laugh at, but then still find some truth. So it's kind of a balancing act, but Mozart knows how to write an opera. So I think we're all having a lot of fun.
That was a really good answer.
This is very good, which would lead me then to a couple of questions. One is, in your career so far, whether in opera or even in musical theater, what is the funniest or most ironic thing that's happened to you?
Wow.
And well, let's go with that, and then I'll ask you the final question after that. But I'd be very curious to hear what comes to mind, and if you found it to be inspiring, or let's say, did you learn something from it?
Well, I think maybe I have to go way back here because my my kind of most crazy experience was when I was a kid, and I was performing in the National Theatre in Norway as a dancer. I used to be a dancer, and I got 39 degree temperature. I was really ill.
But at least we know it wasn't COVID.
It wasn't COVID because it was too early.
Too far back.
This was like 20-something years ago. And my alternate had left town. So there was no alternative. I had to go on stage and do cartwheels with a 39-degree temperature. And that was not fun. But it taught me how to push through. So I would say it taught me some sort of weird artist discipline, I guess.
Which relates to what you were saying beforehand about stamina.
Yeah, it does, actually.
So it follows through.
Yeah.
There seems to be a theme.
Yes.
But it should be a theme for every singer, I think, every performer. Right.
Emily?
How about you, Emily?
I'm having to think about this one quite hard. I don't think I definitely don't have one in opera. I think the most ironic thing that's happened to me with performances is when I did Phantom of the Opera, which is not an opera, it's a musical. When I was 14 and we did a production where we were double cast, but I was actually double cast as two roles. So some nights I was Christine and some nights I was Meg. And Christine was I was young, so I was a soprano back then and could hit the notes. I can't do that now. But she was supposed to be a bad ballet dancer, which is how she gets discovered as a good singer. But the nights I was Meg, I was supposed to be the head ballet dancer, and I was surrounded by people who were like grade 8 ballet, and I'd never taken a ballet class in my life. So I think that might be the most ironic experience, because they just put me in the middle, like doing this with my hands while they danced around me, and then there's like a line where they go, "Who's that? Like, she's phenomenal," and there's like little chubby Emily like in the middle of the stage. So that's probably the most. We're movers. Yeah, I'm a mover who can sing, a singer who can move. Yeah, that was probably mine.
I'm having to think about this as well. I think maybe not the most ironic, but something that pushed me in a way was I did a production of Acis and Galatea, a Handel piece, in Central City, Colorado. And the production was really innovative. You know, oftentimes you think of Handel and you think kind of archaic, or maybe not archaic, but kind of by the book. But we set it as hippies in this kind of commune that would put on the show. So we were performing the opera as actors in a show, so a show within a show. And I played, for the first time, a homosexual on stage. And it was one of the most freeing experiences of my life, and I got so close with the cast, and it was honestly one of the more formative moments as a performer for me, because I had to push myself into just finding love and just portraying love. And I think that when you can just simplify a story into things that anybody can understand, you can achieve a great product. And I think that's what that taught me.
Very good. Very, very good. Well, these are very, very interesting stories and experiences, I should say, which then would lead me to ask you, what do you want to take away from your time here at the Vienna Opera Academy? By the end of the program, what is it that you want to have gained from being here? When I use the word gained in a very broad sense of the word, what have you learned? What have you achieved? What do you want to take away with you?
I think for me a big motivation was merely the chance to work again. I graduated from the Opera Academy spring of 2020. In Oslo. So that was just plainly horrible timing to establish any kind of career. So after that, I was kind of, like all of us, I was stuck in a practice room for like 2 years. So just to get the chance to get out there again and do a role and not just a recital, not that there's anything wrong with the recitals, but get the chance to work in an ensemble with wonderful castmates, that was a big motivation. And I think that's the main part I will take with me, the fact that I've gotten to work again for 3 weeks, for real.
Very good. Very good. Emily?
I think my funny answer would be how to work in 35-degree heat and not pass out. But my more profound answer might be just the immersion of opera. Like personally, I've only ever been in the choruses of operas before. As I said, I came to it a bit later, so I only kind of in the last year of my degree, and my degree was actually an education-based one, so just to get experience doing it and sort of, I think for myself, a personal goal is to sort of get rid of the inhibitions on stage of what I look like or what people think of me, and just to try and enjoy kind of getting into characters more and really seeing what the character would do, not what I would do playing that character. So I think just to try and immerse myself into everything going forward, just with everything that I have. Yeah, as simple answer as that, just total immersion.
This year has been very busy for me. It's kind of just been from show to show to show. And I came into this process very, very last minute. So it's been a great challenge to get something on its feet quickly. And I'm hoping I do that. No, but I've had a lot of fun, and I think any chance to perform, especially in times where things are still getting canceled due to COVID, and we still get the opportunity to perform in beautiful places like this and practice in beautiful places and see music all around us. I think just the chance to perform is good enough for me to be here. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for being here and talking with us. It's really a pleasure, and really good to hear how you're coming along here with all the background experience that you have. It's really nice to talk with you. So thank you very much, and I wish you much luck, really good luck, and a wonderful career ahead of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a million.
Thank you.